Hi everyone, this is Jeanne-Marie Taylor of Jeanne-Marie Taylor Muse on Facebook. Can you hear those sounds of nature? I have birds flying overhead. I'm looking at trees leafing out. It's so grounding and relaxing to be out in nature. So I hope that you too get a chance to do that today. And thank you, by the way, thank you for spending time with me. Thank you for being here. I'm trying to do these messages daily to help all of us get through the crisis at hand. And today, what I want to talk about is something that I call, it's a tip called low, slow, and small. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that in just a minute. But first, I just want to remind everyone that my husband Creed and I adopt out crystals. We sell crystals. And if anybody needs any, I just want to remind you that we have very low prices. I know that one thing that many people have been asking me about recently is black tourmaline. So I'm going to read a description of that just really quickly before I give you the tip. And I'm just going to pull up that description right here. So black tourmaline is, if you were to Google protection from virus or protection from disease or infection, what crystal should I use? One of the first stones you would come up with is actually black tourmaline. And if you're Googling that, it's spelled Tourmaline. Black tourmaline is said to be protective. It's said to repel negative energies and to promote high vibrations, positive vibrations, and wellness within us. When we hold it, when we sort of work with the stone in our hands, it's a great thing to do. Say you're watching TV and you're just feeling kind of overwhelmed. You want to perhaps keep listening to the radio or to television because you know that we need to keep hearing messages, advances we need to hear about, or, are there going to be additional closings of things in our area? Or we might want to hear the latest research on how long coronavirus can live on a given surface. But whatever you're doing, you can hold black tourmaline in your hand. And what it apparently does is to defend the person who's holding it or wearing it against disease by strengthening the immune system. So it's very popular for its metaphysical protection properties. A lot of people who are considered empaths, people who sort of feel each other's pain, sometimes very physically in their own body, can benefit from carrying around black tourmaline. But some people say it can help physically. To relieve things like pain, fever, and other physical issues. And in fact, the stone was considered to be probably the most powerful crystal of them all by ancient shamans. And it was believed to heal on all levels. So on the physical level, on the emotional level, and on the spiritual level. So I just wanted to take a minute and explain what some people feel are the benefits of black tourmaline and let you know that we have it in stock. We have pieces that are with free shipping, by the way. We have pieces that would be between I would say a small piece might be $17.77. Maybe a larger piece that we have could be as much as maybe $29.99. And those of you who've worked with me before, if you need smaller payments, then we can maybe make an arrangement. So now that I have said that, let me give you an important tip. Low, slow, and small. So what do I mean by low? Well, it's so important when we are in the midst of a crisis to understand that our body, our energy system is going into overdrive, and there are certain processes that start to take place that we actually seem to have a great deal of control over. We just tend to forget that we have control over it. But one of the things I aim to do daily is to remind you of the amount of control that your mind, your thinking, your awareness has over your body. I want to get you in the habit of understanding that when you have a panic response, a fear response, totally understandable. Anxiety, totally understandable. And some people, of course, were having a great deal of anxiety even before the current crisis happened. And I'm really filled with compassion for you, but I want to help as well. And so what I'm talking about today when I say the first part, the low part, low, slow, and small is the tip. The low part means drop your breathing, make your breathing lower in your body. Instead of having your breathing emanate from the upper part of your chest, up by your clavicle, drop it down. I want you to see just how low you can go. Try to see if you can get your breathing to emanate from your belly. That's right. You might have to actually loosen if you're wearing a belt. If you are wearing pants that are super tight, you might want to temporarily unzip them. Just do that if you're in privacy. Go ahead and do that because I want you to experience the difference physiologically and emotionally of what it feels like when you drop your breathing lower, when you start to breathe more like a very practiced yogi. So this has been a tradition of breathing for centuries because it really works. When we lower the spot of our body from which we are breathing, it lowers our blood pressure and it starts a beautiful cascade of physiological changes that are going to help you manage the adrenaline in your body. It's going to help to lower your blood pressure. All kinds of good things happen. It's going to help you think more clearly. Okay, so that's the low part. The next thing that I mentioned in the low, slow, small tip is the slow part. So what do I mean by that? You want to get into the habit of when you get alarmed about something, when you start to feel panic, I want you to think in terms of slowing your breathing. So you're dropping your breathing down to your belly while you are also slowing your breathing. Now, I mean something else by slow. So let me talk about that for a minute. Are you someone who walks around kind of fretting and you walk from one room to another and just almost setting a new land speed record? Or you go out for a walk and you're really hustling? Well, that's great because you're getting your blood rate up. That's wonderful. But there are times when we are moving around really quickly in such a way that we're sort of putting ourselves again into a state of fight or flight, into a state where we're getting our adrenaline up. And it's really helpful, I have found, to slow down. So a beautiful meditation we can do is a walking meditation. And I don't mean speed walking. I want you to start to focus, whether you're walking around your apartment or whether you're walking around your home or whether you're taking a walk outside. Focus on tuning into your feet. Slow down. Feel each part of your foot as it strikes the earth beneath. Your toes. Try to feel your arches, your heels, your ankles, and just really allow yourself to feel that, to be present with your feet. It's a really grounding exercise. It's going to really help you as well, because when we can slow our breathing and slow our bodily movements, they work together to keep us calm. And we know that when we're calm, we are more resourceful. We're going to be able to see the answers to questions much more easily. Solutions float into us so much more easily when we are calm. So the next part, the last part of the low, slow, and small tip is the part about small. So here's what I want you to understand. And I might be talking about this again in the future because this is so important. So when we tune in to Facebook or Instagram or the television or radio, we are sometimes hearing stories about other people across the earth who are having a huge impact. So you will hear that this person donated something to thousands or even millions of people. And you might say to yourself at times, wow, wish I could do something. I just feel so powerless. That creates, in part, a stress response, because one of the ways that we avoid stress is to do little things that help us feel like we have a little bit of control in our lives. So what I mean when I ask you to think about the word small, low, slow, and small, I want you to think about micro effects. I want you to start thinking of your life in terms of the inherent and beautiful value of micro impact. You know, I'm not asking you to play small. I'm not asking you to not have big dreams. I'm asking you to give yourself a trophy for when you do something small. Because I can tell you that as a clairvoyant, let me tell you what I see when you do something beautiful and small. When you do something like just simply, I don't know, if you have a little nephew who has a birthday and you make a cake because you're all quarantined together and you make a beautiful cake with icing. Or maybe you have an elderly person in your family and instead of getting really impatient with them, maybe you're just gentle. Maybe you're just soft. What I see is a huge impact. You might see that as something small. I see that with my clear psychic imagery as something that creates a ripple effect out into the universe. Yeah, that's right. It's so important to understand that none of our actions are wasted. That is what we have learned from spiritual teachers for time immemorial. The smallest thing that we do, if we do it with beauty and intention, is a prayer and is a gift unto the entire world. So I want you to really think about the value of even the smallest action. And if you are someone who's suffering from anxiety and you can just for 1 hour today ground yourself, be calm, do a good job with your with just breathing low and just getting yourself low and slow. If you can do that for even just an hour, I want you to give yourself a trophy right now. I want you to really understand how beautiful that is, and I want you to understand that that has a huge impact. That sends waves of calming energy out into the universe. And boy, do we need that right now, right? So everyone, that is our... Are you hearing that? That's a woodpecker nearby. That's what I love about doing recordings out in nature. You never know what you're going to hear. So that is our low and slow and small tip, and I hope it helps you today. And thank you so much for taking the time to listen. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Until then, this is Jeanne-Marie Taylor sending you, so much love. I hope you're feeling my love and hugs from here in Louisiana. Talk soon, everyone.